I worked for the government of Nigeria as a regulator in oil and gas industry, but now I'm a senior citizen, retired, and then enjoying myself. I'm a new member, but I'm still yet to know what is going on in this group. But however, I have been opportune to interact with the phenomenal woman, Dr. Ifi Mwakwesi. And I think I must say that I like your mantra. You change, I change, we change, and the society changes. And as a matter of fact, I have also been opportuned to read some of our write-ups in integrated lifestyle. And they are quite inspiring, very knowledgeable. And I like her content and her brand. In fact, I would like to associate people like her, associate with people like her. That's why I have even gone ahead to pay my dues. Although I have not met any of you physically to interact with you, but I can assure you that I'm now part of this group and I'm so much inspired. And looking at the topic today, Nkechi Gogoru, I happen to know her. Both of us belong to a group, the Kofites. And I know that she's going to deliver today and will all be inspired. Thank you very much, because as it is right now, I'm still acclimatizing.
Can you imagine? Yeah.
Being a member of this great group. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ijoma. Diana, let me say a little bit about Ijoma. Ijoma is another very, very dynamic woman. Anything Ijoma gets involved with goes well. She's a peaceful woman. She's spirit-filled. So she brings a lot of spiritual energy and positivity to whatever she's trying to do. So I know that our entrance into WAG is going to give us even better outcome. EJ, we love you, and don't eat up all the thing you're getting from America. Bring some back to us.
You bring some back home.
I will share with
Let me
you
give you your phone.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ifi. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, Dr. Ifi,
thank you all ladies in the house.
Thank you very much, Ma. Thank you. So, Dr. Ifi, if you can just briefly, I know you've spoken a lot with all these introductions, but if you can just briefly give opening remarks.
Okay. My dear work sisters, good evening, everyone. Good evening. This is our premiere. This is our premier WAG Monday conversation. And from what I have been told by the heavenly throne, this WAG Monday conversation is going to go very big. Why are we having a conversation? Conversation is one of the vital tools of learning and growing. Dear WAG sisters, the Women Aligned for Growth initiative, like I always say to everybody that listens to me, is actually a God-ordained initiative. People think it's Ifi Nwakwesi that is driving WAG. Truly, it's not me. Because how can you explain that a woman that is almost 70, 69 plus, almost 70, can have the energy of a much younger person? It could definitely not be natural. It's definitely a spiritual energy. And so WAG is positioned to be a character building, social change, and impact platform. A lot of things are going to happen in WAG. And so we thought it would be nice for us to begin to have conversations, because conversations, you bring in different perspectives. Nobody has a monopoly of knowledge. It is gathering knowledge from all people, everybody that have gone through life experiences, were brought up by different parents, were exposed to different educational system, culture. You bring it to bear and we can learn from it. The important thing in WAG is that we are all prepared to learn and grow. If Nwakwesi is not perfect, there's no perfect human being. We all have our strengths and our weaknesses. It's the commitment and the determination to keep constantly improving the caliber of who you are. WAG sisters, that is the secret of the Japanese miracle. A Japanese man or woman gets better today than he or she was yesterday. They get better tomorrow than today. That is the secret of the Japanese miracle. And so in Japan, there's something called Kaizen. Kaizen stands for constant and never-ending improvement. If we can teach integrative lifestyle to our secondary school, primary, tertiary, I can assure you that the quality of the citizenship of Nigeria will be totally different than what it is. Let me stop here so that we are here to learn from each other. Let each and every one of us go back home with more knowledge and more commitment to keep saying, I change, you change, we change, and society changes. Thank you all very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ma. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And today, like Dr. Ife mentioned, is the premiere, is the maiden edition of this conversation. There's many, many, many more conversations to come. Like I mentioned earlier, the topic is cannot be more apt, and we are going to be discussing good company. And it was really from a post that said, company of good people is like walking into a shop of perfumes. Whether you buy the perfume or not, one is bound to receive the fragrance. It must touch you, like they say. You can't, like oil, once it touches one finger, it touches everything. And to help us lead the conversation, we kind of have already met her, so I'm not going to go too far. Is one of our comrades, Comrade Mrs. Nkechi Azike Igogori. She's a Nigerian from Imo State, and she's 53 years old. So she has all the experience. She has pretty much lived life. So she will be leading this conversation. And please help me welcome to kick off this conversation. Help me welcome Mrs. Nkechi Igogori. You are very welcome, Ma. We are delighted and we are honored to have you lead this first session. Do we still have Auntie Nkechi here?
Yes, Nkechi is here, but I think I can't see any energy in her audio.
Oh, maybe the audio is out.
So Nkechi, are you with us? Wow. So because actually, Nkechi normally stays in sometimes not too good internet zones. So I actually asked her to send in her short write-up for this. So
okay.
If she's not available, maybe I can read it.
Yes.
What do you think?
Yes, go ahead and read it. And when she joins us, she can just join the conversation.
Wow. Wow. I actually moved it to my other phone. Diana, can I send it to you to read?
Oh, yes, please go ahead. Send it to me, ma'am.
Okay, let me send it to you. So sorry about that. I'm sure that Nkechi is still here, but there's no audio on her. Let me send you the message she sent me. Just give me a second. Okay. So you can read it and then we can all discuss it. Diana. Okay, Diana, have you seen it?
Yes, I have. So
okay,
I'll just
fine.
go ahead and quickly read it. And she titled it "My Perspective on the Above." That's on the topic we are going to be talking about. The first time I read this, I paused to allow it sink in because it made a lot of sense to me. I became reflective as I started analyzing, especially what it meant to me. For the purpose of this conversation, I would like to define the word company in the context it appeared here. Company means not being alone or finding yourself in the midst of people and doing things with them. The company of good people is like walking into a perfume shop you are bound to receive the fragrance. This literally means that the company of people is infectious, contagious, and also influential. I will explain. Perfumes generally smell well, isn't it? But do you know that some perfumes are both awful and repugnant in fragrance? Yes. When you're in the company of purposeful, ambitious, result-oriented, confident, loving, empathic, empowering, and impactful people, you naturally begin to cultivate their traits. Show me your friends, I will tell you whom you are. You try to become like them. On the contrary, when you are in the midst of envious, strife-ridden, negative, angry, resentful, lazy, mischievous, malicious naysayers, their company is toxic and therefore doesn't empower growth mindsets. Same with finding yourself in a sad company. This affects your mood, e.g., the death and burial of a young achiever, whereas you are downcast and find yourself in the company of exciting people, your spirit is lifted. This goes to reinforce the truism that the company you keep is like walking into a perfume shop in Kechi Azike Igogori.
Wow.
That was very beautiful. That was very, very beautiful. I'm going to forward it myself to a couple of people.
Mm.
So it's, I guess we've all heard her, so we can pretty much just kickstart the conversation. I would like to take a stab first, kind of kickstarting it, and it's, we all know, and one of our quotes there is something that we grew up with: show me your friends and I'll show you who you are. It's critical, and we can't say it's better, that you need to watch the people you are with. And growing up, my mom used to say this popular thing to us, that if you are in a room and you are the smartest person in that room, you need to find another room, because it means you are not learning anything. So if you are the I know it all, then find a room where there's somebody that knows it, so that knows more than you know, so you can learn. And something else she used to always tell me, that I'm kind of passing to my children. She said, you do not have to go to a classroom to learn if somebody else has already learned that lesson. So why do you want to spend, so, and those were from my, teenage rebellious days, where you will feel, I beg, mommy, leave me, you have had your teenage years, let me have mine. And I said, if I've gone through it for 10 years and I know what is on the other side, why do you want to go through it? Why don't you just start from where I stopped, so you're not having to slow yourself down by having to relearn what I've learned? Just take my lessons and propel yourself from there, so you are not pretty much making the same mistakes. Yes, I made probably too many mistakes, but it got me thinking that you really need to learn from others, which is the reason why you have to be in good, perfect, as in company of people that challenge you, company of people that show you the way things should be. I said something at the last gathering we had. I said, learning from people that have done it before, you know the mistakes that they have made that you should not be making, and you know where they have gotten it right, that you should just, why change a winning formula? Just follow it and you get it that same way. So it's really, really critical. So watching our company, and also trying to contribute as well. So you can't always be that person that soaks. Everybody has something to give. Everybody has something to contribute, good or bad. Sometimes it's even in contributing your bad that somebody points it out to you, that that's not the way to do it. So it's apt for the first conversation we are having, because I kind of feel that that's the whole essence of what this group is about: changing ourselves, so that in turn we can then change the society, which is key, which is what I feel we are lacking in our immediate environment. Everybody expects somebody else to be different, to be better, but doing it yourself, being that change that you want to see, is the only way that you can get others to change. Thank you.
Thank you, Abby, or Diana. This is Ruby speaking. And I would like to pick up where you left off. You said so many interesting things, and it just goes to show that parenting goes a long way. when you share, your mom shared a lot of those sayings with you, and here you are passing them on to your children. And it's the same thing with me. So a lot of those things, my mom said to me as well,
Ruby,
and
we're
this
not
one
seeing
of,
you. Ruby, we're
show
not
me.
seeing you. Did you
Yes,
shut
I've
your
done
video?
it because of my video.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
Internet. Sorry, there are a lot of people.
Okay.
They're working. The husband and wife are working from the house, and
No
there's one
problem.
child on the internet downstairs. So once I turn on my video, it can break up. But so what I like about this write-up is that it really calls us to examine the people that we choose to surround ourselves, with. If we look at the people that we have around us, and that same thing, that show me your friends and I'll tell you who you are. If you look at the 5 people around you, the top 5 people that you interact with on a daily basis, and you do not like what they collectively represent, then that says something about who we are. And if we take that and we enlarge it, to our community, to our country, and we're talking about leadership, it just shows that somewhere along the lines, people were surrounded by people who were not, shaping them or
positively
spurring them in the right, positively impacting them, exactly, which is how come they came to be where they found themselves. So for me, I really like the write-up, and I think it got me to think a lot more. There's intentionality there as well. The truth is, if you are clear about what you stand for, your ideals, your values, then you'll be intentional about the friends and the people around you who do not fit that mold or don't fit those values. And you have to shave them off. Otherwise, do you really represent what you think you do? So there's also an aspect of intentionality in it. And you can only be intentional when you take a step back, you pause, and you really reflect. Really take the time to think about the people you interact with, the people who influence you. And like you said, if you are the smartest one in the group, then it's time to reshuffle that group, because it means you're no longer learning, you're no longer growing. So I just like to thank Ms. Igogori for that write-up. It's very, very inspiring. Yes, thank you.
Thank you. So comments, Dame Princess, please go ahead. It's an interactive session, so we can.
Diana, always allow me to give applause to people who have shared.
Okay.
Please. Always allow me to do that. Princess, we welcome you. Princess is my sister, my lovely sister, my dependable sister. So, Princess.
I am sorry. Good evening, President and all members here. Really sorry for coming in late. I just walked into the house, and when I was on the way, it wasn't easy to connect through Zoom. And I've missed a lot of important things you have said, because I thought actually we were discussing leadership. But what I noticed that you talked about something about NECA, but so what I was going to comment on was on leadership. So maybe in next time you're doing the leadership one. So I don't have any comments on NECA something. So I just looked through and saw that was what was posted. But I thought we were talking about leadership for this day. Are you hearing me?
Oh yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Did you change the topic, or maybe
no,
I
we didn't.
Oh no, we didn't. So it was going to be on the company we keep, and now it's like a perfume shop going into it.
Okay.
Even if you don't buy, you get.
Okay.
Diana, can
I just say something of about
ahead.
that, but not that it will be deep like all of you that have prepared, because what I agree with the last speaker who I listened to about the company we keep, because like he said, show me who your friends are, and I exactly know who you are. Even so, I think it's a very valid point. But another thing about company that we keep, I will say that one of the things that strengthens one and also encourages want to be a better person is having good role models around you. Because using a WAG as an example, usually I have a lot of groups I belong to, but WAG somehow is somehow different. I like many of their members I met, the way they behave, because I'm not usually, I'm a little bit private, like to stay more of with people who are talks more about God. But I noticed that in a way, WAG say changing me to be someone that will come out, laugh with people, start dancing and all those things. I would rather dance privately. And it's actually helping my mood, helping the way I relate, helping coming out more to socialize with other people, which is quite a good tonic for being more healthier. Because when you're happy all the time, you find that it brings the best. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, ma'am.
Okay, because my phone is slow. It happens that it can bring out the best in you. So for me, company is very, very important. Relationship is very important. And the people I relate to, even the values or system within that relationship is also very, very important to me. Because I don't like negativity. And I'll prefer to have people that gives me positive vibes, and also even if I have any weakness or something I've done wrong, get my attention privately, let me know about it, and I work towards it, and I also like people that are very supportive. If you have relationships and friends, but none of you can add value to each other, something is wrong. I believe we should be able, in relationships, in company we keep, it should add value to us. It should be a supportive base. It should be a base that brings out the best. When one is down, we should lift that person up. When one is also happy, we should rejoice with that person. That's what I like. I don't like too much of criticisms. I'm not saying criticism is good. It can help you, but it should be done in a very loving manner. Like the way Jesus Christ did it. He gave us his life without even any of us qualifying for it. But because of his grace, he qualified us to be who we are and to give us dominion, even when we have not yet attained it. So I think that is my own idea of relationship company we keep. Let us keep the right company. And also let us also run away from things that make us feel sad or negative people, because they can be poison to your life. They can be poison to things that will bring stress, to things that will even shorten somebody's life, or even the words they send to somebody and all those things. So it's really, really important. Thank you very much. I don't know if I made any points.
You did. Thank you. Dr. Ify.
Princess, this applause is for you. For your wonderful conversation. Princess. Okay.
Thank you. Please, when is the leadership one coming? Is it next Monday?
No, we haven't fixed it yet. We're going to fix it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. So Diana, I think that I'd like everyone else to share before I share what I want to share.
Oh no, I thought you had something when Madam Princess.
No, I decided to wait. Let me be the last speaker.
I agree. Any comment, any personal experiences? When everybody was talking, something struck me, and it's pretty much like a question. How do you balance your need for positivity with that tendency? I kind of find that with that tendency to stay away from people who will give you positive criticism. So I find that there are people who like praise. You have them around that they are only around people that will praise them, people that would support what they are doing, and we see a lot of that with our leaders in Nigeria today. So sometimes they'll be like, oh, I don't like staying around negative. That's the excuse they will give. Like, I don't like negative people. So you're only around people who tells you your work is good, you are great, Oga. How as a human being learning, can you balance the need for that the need for praise with the risk of being in company of people who will see the truth and still not tell you?
So who are you asking that question?
Like the house. So I'm asking Madam Oyeka, Madam Ijoma, and Madam Jane, who are, they've not said anything.
Okay, that's a very good question. But before I say something, you see, in life, from my own perspective, it's good to keep companies, whether good or bad, because you can keep company with friends that have positive thinking. There are some friends that you have that have negative thinking. That at this point, you have to strike a balance from my own perspective. I have met with people that are toxic in relationships. I have met people that are very good and positive in relationships. But all the same, from my own thoughts, you have to strike a balance. Those that are positive, you move with them because they are inspiring. They always motivate you. You learn a lot. Those that are also negative in their thinking, you don't agree with them. They are your friends, but you don't agree with them. You have to let them know where you are coming from. Then if you have advice you give to them, like now, I'm trying to be a bit spiritual in relating with people. So I can stay with positive people and I can stay with negative people. The positive people will always inspire me. I move on and tag along with them. But those that are negative, I will tell them what the Bible says. And I will continue. That will not make me to, that will not make me to repel them. They are no longer my friend or what. No, they have to be your friend, but you have to tell them the truth. Looking at Bible, from the Bible perspectives, you have to give them advice. That is how I look at company. Having relationship and having friends around you. In fact, as a matter of fact, I even told my son, I am in LA right now. I told him, you have to move with people, but all the same, those that motivate you positively, you tag along with them. But those that are negative in thoughts, those that will lead you to things like taking drugs or, doing things that are not good. So you don't move with them. But however, if you have any advice to give them, you have to let them know that the line they are towing is not good. So this is how I look at friendship from my own perspective. You have to strike a balance. You really have to strike a balance in between negativity and positivity, and life goes on. Thank you very much.
Wow.
Wow.
So sorry, I had to go ease myself.
I want to say something.
Oh,
Okay, go ahead. Nkechi is speaking to us.
Yes,
Nkechi,
I want to say something.
I have a question.
Can I?
Go.
Yes, Nkechi, you can unmute yourself. There was noise in the background. I had to beat everybody. So Nkechi, unmute and say something, please. Have I caused a problem?
No, she can unmute.
Nkechi, unmute, please. I had to mute everybody. There was noise in the background. So, Dame, your hand is up.
Yes, I raised my hand based on the wonderful comment made by Ichoma, but I just one.
Let's give Dame, let's give other people a chance. Then we can come back to you. Okay.
Okay, because please, just when you remember, it's based on what Ms. Sonia
She's
said.
still trying to unmute. So while she's trying to unmute herself, let Dame ask her question.
Okay, let them go ahead. Okay.
Okay, the question, please. I like what she just said. Very fantastic about striking a balance. But the one that also touched me is what she said to her son, which is the area that I'm very, very active in, concerning the youths, concerning bringing our children up, or what we tell them, especially when they are not around us. They are now outside living on their own, or some of them are still in the university. My question there is, because I know you mentioned that biblical says that it's good to have both ways, but there are people who are weak. There are people who are weak that it is difficult for them, if they do not go away from that negativity, it might affect them. They might not be able to be strong enough spiritually to build that strong base where you can be able to have the two and still balance out. So for me, I don't know if I'm right or that. For me, I'll prefer to pray and to leave that my daughter or son, or to keep away from those, because those negative peer pressure can be something. It has really led a lot of children to do, or youth to do things they should not do. Maybe they don't have that strength. You has developed from a long time, that where you can now handle positive, you can handle negative from all the places where God has led you, or challenges or experiences that you have had in life. So for me, negativity, if I've tried to be your friend or to keep that company and it does not add value to me, I'll prefer to leave. And I know also that the Bible scriptures, you mentioned biblical, also tells us, even when you're trying to reconcile Christians, when you have done all that you have to do, when you have gone through all that you have to go through, please leave that person to move on. But continue praying for that person in your private altar, but let that person go. Because it's not everybody has that strength to continue to allow that negativity bombarding, when people, even when it comes to violence, there's some negativity that can turn into violence, even negative words, trying to come into your own private chats to say things they should not say. So those areas can actually be, you cannot control that person any longer. Leave that person to go. That's my own, that I would like to add to what she said. For those who cannot be able to balance the two, please. Thank you very much.
I said I wanted to talk.
Yes, Nkechi, please go ahead. That's the guest speaker. Go ahead.
There's something I heard.
But please, Nkechi, before you go ahead, let's just tell them that her conversation was quite useful. And I'm sure all of us are learning that at times you need to walk away from toxic relationship before it kills the person. So very, very empowering conversation. And Ijoma, your own conversation was also very, very good. So dear Nkechi, please go ahead. I'm sorry for the interruption.
There is something there's an issue that was raised, and that is accommodating or working with toxic people and all that. I think in that I want to say that moderation in such relationship should be emphasized. And what do I mean? The Bible said, can two work together except they be agreed?
Amen. Yes.
There's an issue with working with people who are called depressants. You want to move forward, you are positive, you are convinced about a step, a bold step you want to take. But because of their parochial nature and maybe their general summation of you, they physically can speak. They imagine you cannot pull it. And then they begin using certain discouraging comments that if you are not convinced within that you are well able, you'll be destroyed. We all know what happened when Caleb asked people, I'm talking like this because I know that all of us are Christians, to go and inspect the land of Canaan, the land flowing with milk and honey. Some said they are just like locusts, that they cannot, that the people will eat them. But Caleb and Joshua said that they are well able, that those people are like bread unto them. All these are factors that tell us that when you are in the wrong company, if you don't have a strong willpower, if you do not know how to guard your spirit mind, you might be surprised you'll be destroyed. It takes somebody who has developed his inner spirit, who knows exactly what he wants or what she wants, to stand above a wrong company. I went to school, and while in school, I had a lot of my friends do certain things. A number of them, they did certain things. They tried to convince them, smoking, even marijuana in those days. But because of, I have always had this strong personality. I am the type who, when I mean what I mean is what I'm saying, and what I'm saying is what I'm doing. But I know that some of them, because I probably know that outside those streets, they are good. I had to use some crafts. That is, I possibly would say I have a heart challenge. I cannot take this because it will affect my heart. And then I'll slip away from there. And believe you me, that will be the end of that relationship. Because I know if I continue moving around them, if I don't watch my mind, they'll tell me, no, you are Mugu. Look at you, you girl. You don't know what is happening. Is that? And if you are not strong enough, you'll fall. So what am I saying? I want to anchor this, my personal argument, by saying that we should be very mindful. If there are companies, we must be together for the reason of growth. We should be mindful of people we make part of our lives. If there are business partners, you don't have much to do with them. You do business. You know that there are boundaries. You finish there and you move on. But if there are people whom you have to interact on regular basis, who will be able to mold you and become your friends, I think one should be very mindful of companies we keep. They are like fragrance. Whenever if you move into them, you will take something out. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. Thank you. I don't know how we can follow that strong conversation that Mrs. Ikechi just had with us, or her opinions. It really goes to show that when you are in the company of people who have done it before, there's just a world of experience and a whole new world of knowledge that you can get from that. I kind of feel like this whole WAG was set up because of me, because I can see all of you, Dr. Ife, Mrs. Kechi, that I get to learn from. So I'm just projecting myself 20 years from now, how wise I will seem. And most people would not know that I grabbed it. So any further comments?
Diana, let me recognize one of the members of the WAG executive team who just joined us. Okay. And that's Uduak Oludemi. I can see she's in Uduak, you're very welcome. And Uduak, you may unmute yourself and give us your perspective on this topic, because I'm sure it's a topic you're very passionate about. Uduak Oludemi, please. And then we'll have to hear from Jane. I think Jane is still with us, and Onyeka. Before I give my own perspective, we're going to finish this at 8:30. We need to keep to time. Thank you so much, Uduak, please.
Good evening, Doctor. Good evening, my great women. Thank you very much for this opportunity. For me, I believe that in relationship should be refreshing. Relationship every day should, just like it's been likened to the flower, should burst new fragrance on a daily basis, being that you are learning, you are growing, you are being put together, you are being adjusted. A relationship should have a foundation of truth first and foremost, a foundation of love, a foundation of sincerity, whereby we're not living a life of lies, we're not living in denial. You're not living a life of lies, you're not living a life of denial. I go wrong and Take, for example, Sister Abiyoyiwa corrects me in love. And even if I don't like it, even if I'm going to be angry, she puts her foot down, she stands on what she believes in, because she does not want me to be destroyed. Because she is sensing and seeing what is right for me, and not what she believes that will make me happy. Even if it's going to make me sad, she stands by it and says no. So at the end of the day, for me, that's refreshing, because one will remain thankful for that. It's like pulling somebody off the path of a moving truck, or getting derailed. So in very simple terms, I'm a work in progress, but I believe that for every single relationship, when a name is mentioned, when an organization is mentioned like ours now, it puts smile on your face. It makes you thankful, just like she has said that that WAG was formed because of her. So that means every time the name WAG is mentioned, it makes her smile. So which is very, very which is so simple, that every time WAG is mentioned, she smiles. So a relationship should be able that even if you are not in connection, even if you are not seeing each other, even if you are oceans apart, each time you remember the person or you think about the person, you just smile and probably mutter a word of, oh, I miss her, or God, please take care of him or her. So that's my own summation of a relationship.
Oh, sorry. I was going to give you the applause and I started playing music. So I don't know why this. Thank you, Doc. I don't know why the applause. Sorry. What is going on here? Sorry, ladies. Sorry. Okay. So, Diane, over to you.
Yeah, so thank you very much for that. Thank you. So it keeps getting enriched. So what happened? We've had some personal experiences of how important it is to keep good company. Does anybody have any experience from the past, the present, where you have either gone astray or you almost went astray from just keeping bad company? Are there experiences like that, or do we have experiences with our kids? My kids are young; they are quite tender. What are those things that has worked for us as mothers with older children that some of us who have like little kids should be learning? With how we help them pick their friends? How do you guide them to the right friends so that you are sure that they don't become prayer points for you later in life?
Okay, I think Ruby's hand is
yes.
up.
Go ahead, ma'am.
All right, thank you. I really like what Mrs. Igogori said, because, sometimes there's a tendency for us to want to toe the line, to want to kind of be on the middle fence. But the truth of the matter is that if there's confusion about where we stand on certain issues, where they say if you don't stand for anything, or if you don't stand for something, you will fall for anything. One of the things that I'm seeing in leadership, and I see it playing out in different places in office politics, is that a lot of times you find that there are people who want to be in the middle. And I'm one of those people who usually tends towards peace. And sometimes peace means you move to the middle. But I've also found that it can be confusing, because I may come away thinking that, okay, I've expressed an understanding of where you're coming from, but the person thinks that I have come away agreeing with their position. And then I realize, see, now what you were trying to achieve, you've actually missed. So one of the lessons I'm learning is that it's actually important to take a stand for something, whatever it is you believe in, and let it be clear to all. So that even if you are not there to speak for yourself, people will know. What I got from what she said is that this thing about your company, let it not be said that, okay, Ruby was in the company of X, Y, and Z. Naturally, you say, I'm surprised that she was with those people. something is amiss, or there must be an explanation. Why can somebody say that? Because they know for a fact what this person stands for, who this person is exactly. You know, I like that she said that, because, you know, sometimes just listening to the conversation around the company we keep, sometimes we are forced to interact with people who may not reflect our values. Those interactions must be kept to the minimum, and they must be where it's absolutely necessary. My husband is in business, and one of the things he raises as a challenge each time is that sometimes he loses business because he chooses not to be in the company of certain people. It takes a lot of sacrifice, and you will lose out sometimes. But in the long run, he says nobody will make any mistake about who I am, because they won't be confused that they saw me with that person. You understand? I really like that, Ma. It takes a lot of courage, because sometimes I tell you, it's just easier to nod your head and in your mind say, I don't really agree, but for the sake of peace. So that's one thing that I've taken from. Yes, exactly. You know, it's one of the things I've taken away from here. So thank you so much for that, Ma.
Thank you very much. Thank you for that. Any other reaction, comments? Sister Ijeoma, we've not heard from
good
you.
evening.
I think Dr. Tracy is talking, but your phone is muted, so we couldn't hear you.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. No, I was actually helping Diana to say Onyeka should say something. And there's also another Ijoma. No, we've heard from Ijoma Onyeri.
We have, yeah.
Okay, so it's just Onyeka that is remaining.
Onyeka, okay.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Dr. Ify. Diana, well done. My own perspective in this conversation is that, you know, there is something, just like Dr. Ify normally say, that WAG is divinely ordained. People in WAG are real people. We keep everything real. That shows that even when you come in and you are not living according to what is expected, somehow you will just give out yourself. That is why in WAG, we are just real. We live whatever you are doing. People are just there, just monitoring each other. But there's something a particular thing I really want to say here, that since I joined WAG, because I think it was last night that I was asking Dr. Ify that how would you really have this discerning spirit so that you know when people are right, when people are not living real. She said that it's by the help of the Holy Spirit. So, but in this conversation, we're just talking about how we relate to people, how things are happening, because even here in Lagos, we that are living here in Lagos, a lot of us are not real. You will see where people will say we are trying to bring out living the best version of our lives, trying to be more positive, try to be more impactful, trying to believe in an organization, what that thing is teaching. But we say no, that this is the way we want it to be run, but it's not right. So in this area now, in this conversation, it's very, very empowering and eye-opening that you'll be able to really understand that not everything that you are being told is how the person is carrying it out. Dr. Ify, I hope I'm right.
Yes, I get you, Onyeka.
Yes. So, and in this conversation is somehow teaching us how to be able to relate with one another, how we'll be able to even control the little ones, especially of some of us that have little ones at home, to be able to know the type of friends and how they are, when friends are introducing the bad morals to your children. So, but there is a question that Diana just asked us, and which has not even really been answered. She was asking, how are we, when it comes to our children's friends, how are we going to relate on that? And how are we able to know when our children are being taught the wrong thing? Please, Dr. Ify, can you really answer that? Because somehow we are just mixing it, because I know I have little ones around me here. So how will you be able to understand that?
Thank you. Let me give you this applause. Why is my applause not coming in? I don't know what's going on. So, ladies, let me come into this conversation and share my perspectives. I think Uduak's hand is up. Dames, but we have just like
No,
another.
it is me, Ify. It is me.
Princess.
No, both of you.
Both
No,
of
I
you,
just
but
wanted to answer that question before you do the final perspective, what Uduak just said. But if somebody else, I thought I raised my hand. I can see someone else.
Okay, Uduak, is your hand up? Uduak. Okay, Princess, go ahead, but please keep it very short.
You know, she asked the question about friends. How can we discern the kind of friends our children are keeping, or if they're giving positive value to their relationship? For me, right from when my daughter was in play group and all those other things, even before your child is in the womb, you start praying for that child. From that womb to even when the child is birthed, and from that early stage, what you want your child to be is very, very important. That's like you talked about what you said, if he told you about Holy Spirit. Yes, you start from an early stage to teach your children about family altar, about the fact, about the love of God, about what morals, about those things, in a very playful manner, in a very, when you discuss, when you chat, not in a way that is as if you're trying to impose it on those children, but making it a practical thing that where they can learn from, or even from things that are happening, from things that you see, that you show them, and from even obeying the little rules and regulations in school, how they dress, all those things. That is how you start. If a child, even from that a younger age, the things the school asks, they will be calling you from the school all the time that this one is doing this, is doing that. That's an early signs for you to begin to look at that. But for me, whenever my child, or by the way, as she was growing, even in secondary university, when she has a friend, I tend to make friendship with the parents of the. I want to know that friend. I draw the friend to me.
Have we lost her?
Yeah, I think we've lost
okay,
her.
And we're like how many more
We have
minutes?
10 more minutes, but until Udwak's hand is up, maybe we can just
I'm saying
take...
not only knowing the person that is, and also plan activities to do. Engage them to do activities, and you stay around to watch what they are giving, the signs they are giving you. From there, you even begin to know who this friend is. So at an early stage, you begin to draw the line to say, no, this person is not good for you, but in a very subtle manner, in a very loving manner, not imposing. That even through her own eyes, she can begin to see and open up to you. So I think that that's what the experience I have had with my daughter. So, and it has helped me.
Thank you.
I don't think, okay, maybe, did you hear
yes,
me?
we heard you. Thank you very much for sharing
you.
that experience. And Udwak, go ahead.
Yes, for me, she has said it, she has said most of it. I was going to say that basically from the day the child is born, you become friends with the child. She has said most of it. You have conversations with the child. She comes back from school, he comes back from school. You find out what school was all about for that day, who her new friends are, what the teacher said. From there, when you cultivate the habit of having regular, fun, interesting conversations, I believe that the child will grow to keep these conversations running, no matter what. Even when she grows older, she becomes an older teen, gets into her 20s, she will always run back to mommy. Mommy, I want to have this conversation. Now I'm saying this because my kids are like that with me. They are far away, they'll call me, this is what I want to do, what do you think? And sometimes even when I call them, they say, Mommy, this is what happened, but I fasted about it, but it's fine. And like I said, so because we started I started out with them at very tender age, having conversations with them, and they're making them, they were my team, they were my partners, they were my prayer partners. My kids were those I used to go to. I said, okay, join me in this prayer, let's pray over this together. So gradually, before you know it, it becomes a lifestyle, becomes an integrated part of their lives. Thank you.
Abby, it looks like you're talking. You're muted.
Oh, even me. Thank you very much, Auntie Dwa. I was talking and I was going to tell Dr. Ify that she was muted as well.
Okay.
All right, go ahead and help us round up.
All right. Thank you very, very much, WAG sisters. This has been very, very revealing. It's good to have, excuse me, conversations because you actually get different perspectives. Of course, everyone here knows me as an integrative health and lifestyle specialist. So I'd like to congratulate everyone that has spoken. We've all spoken very well. I have learned a lot. I have gained a lot of knowledge to add to the one I have to keep growing and learning and growing. So let me repeat the topic. Company of good people is like walking into a shop of perfume. Whether you buy the perfume or not, you are bound to receive the fragrance. Good evening, ladies. This is a truism. Looking at this message, I would say that is a true message. That company of good people would help you to feel happier, feel more positive, and help give you energy. Onyeka is aware that in the mornings, I don't know why I have this special likeness for Onyeka. I call her up and I say, Onyeka, are you healthy? Are you vibrant? By the time I finish, she says to me, and we all help ourselves to get up our energy. But this same message has a downside. It has another side that I'd like to highlight to this August audience. Company of good people is like walking. So how do you get good people? Have we thought about that in this discussion? How does somebody become good? Because it is in this same society that we are mostly Christians. We say we are Christians. We go to the church, we read the Bible. Many of us even quote Bible passages and sing gospel music around the clock. So do we also have Muslims? It is in this same society we have so many bad, poor character, decadent people. How do you explain it? Now, let's go to the other side. You can have good company because of the way you are programmed. You have programmed yourself to be negative. You've programmed yourself not to have inner contentment. You've programmed yourself to be in acrimony in your inner being. You are bitter with the world and with almost everybody around you. How can you smell the rose? How can you smell the fragrance? So even though you have all good people around you, you may not even appreciate the goodness of the people. And that happens to us so many times in our relationships, where you are having relationships that is not making sense. All the people are doing are looking for your faults. I don't know how many of you have experienced that. All they are doing is identifying your faults, criticizing. They are never encouragers. They are not getting you to be to do things better. They are always pulling you down. How do you handle such situation? What I want to tell everyone that is listening to me tonight, don't spend your time worrying about the good people out there. Work on yourself to be that good person. Work on yourself. Stay connected with God and the Holy Spirit so that you can be a powerful human being and be able to dictate what happens around you. I want to say something this evening. Listen to me carefully, what sisters. It is not the event of life that determines what you do. You could have somebody that is good around you. You can also have somebody that is bad around you. What determines what you do are the decisions, the perspective that you hold about the situation. So even though I could have bad people around me, I could decide I'm not going to let them steal my joy. Good. That God has said I'm a masterpiece. God has said if you is a queen and that I should sit on, I'd rather listen to the voice of God than listen to the voice of man. So even though you may have a negative energy around me, I may not even allow it to get to me. And I can still relate to you and try as much as I can to help you to become a better person.
Good.
But of course, we are aware there are some instances where you are trying to help people to become better and they are not prepared to learn. They are so in inner unhappiness. And there's something I'd like to say at this juncture, what sisters. In this society, we are so focused on external looks. Oh, she is a good person. Oh, she is good. In the face, what is the caliber of the person in their inner being? In our training, in our curriculum in educational, primary school, secondary, we're teaching our children to become lawyers, certificates, cram and go and pass exams. We're not teaching them basic training for life. Somebody, Diana, what I'd like to say to you, equip your child with the skills and the strategies to be able to cope with the inevitable challenges of life. She gets to be a growth mindset young girl. And there's the way she behaves in society. She's not going to let anybody to influence her. Only good things she will copy. She will not copy bad things. And she'll become a training channel for other children that are going bad. I don't know whether I'm communicating tonight, ladies.
That's the key. That's my own perception.
Ladies, am I communicating tonight?
That's my own perception. That's my own perception.
So, in all of this discussion, what I'd like to leave with each and every one of us is this. Don't spend your time worrying about people that are outside of you. God has given you the ability to choose your responses to anything that happens around you. Focus on building yourself into an amazing, impactful, passionate, compassionate, content, and grateful human being. Put yourself in a resourceful emotional state so that 24 hours you are dancing and happy. And be that person that attracts people. And whether they like it or not, success is the vengeance. Let me stop by sharing an experience I had when I was younger. I was in business. My father prepared me for life, so I went into business, even though I was a medical doctor, because I had to help my husband in bringing up, nurturing the family. My husband was a civil servant at that time. I went into business. Any business I did, women, my fellow women were carrying rumors that, oh, I sleep with this man. I see that. Those were things I was hearing. At that time, I wasn't the woman I am today. And I was literally crying every day. Wax sisters, are you hearing me?
Yes, we are.
I was literally crying every day in my room. But today, I have been able to work on myself spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically. I work on building blissful relationship and marriage. I'm no longer perturbed about what society. I'm no longer perturbed about what they are saying, because I try to live a character, principle-centered, driven life. And when you do that, people will respect you. Sometimes they fight you, but they can never succeed. Because you're standing on the solid rock. You're standing by the Alpha and Omega has made you stoic and resilient. So ladies, I'd like us to have this discussion like this. Please, good company is good, but let you be that good company. Let you be that change. Let you be the person that is impacting people and not be doing bad belly for your other women. Because there's so many women that are so bad belly, so toxic. They don't want any other woman to progress. When you're doing something and you're doing it well, they begin to tear you down.
Yes.
So, ladies, my conversation this night is prepare yourself for life. Prepare your children for life by starting to connect to the Holy Spirit. The woman I am today is not because I am phenomenal. I am phenomenal because of the grace of God. Because I have keyed into the Holy Spirit. I'm no longer just a born-again child of God. I am a disciple. So I have a personalized conversational relationship with God. I tap into his spiritual power and authority to stay positive and happy 24 hours. Sometimes I get upset when somebody does something to me, but I don't dwell in it. I get out of it very fast. You may actually have good people, but you are not in a state of mind to appreciate the goodness of people. So what is important is that everyone works on themselves. That's why we say, I change, you change, we change, and society changes. Thank you very much, ladies, for allowing me to share. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you
phenomenal
very,
woman.
very, very much.
Thank you.
couldn't have been better. So it's exactly, yes, everybody's clapping for you. Rounding it up, go ahead, Ruby.
No, I just wanted to say, well done, Madam CEO. Thank you for that powerful charge, as always.
Powerful.
Thank you, Ruby. Thank you. You know, you're
Really
you're my growth mindset woman.
That's amazing. Kind of like taking us back to the fact that in trying to be good company, if we try to be in good company, we should make ourselves first. Back to the mantra: we change first, then we can change others.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
Thank you, everybody. Comrade, Mrs. Nkechi, Gogori, thank you. Your message, and Dr. Ify forwarded it to me. I forwarded it already to other people. It was really fantastic. The write-up you sent for this, we really appreciate you. We are glad, and we feel fortunate. I personally feel very fortunate to be in the presence of such amazing, goal-oriented, positive, integrative mindset and growth mindset women. I'm already looking forward to the next conversation. So thanks for your time. We're 5 minutes over, but I'm sure everybody
God bless
we all enjoyed it.
Thank you, my darling.
I didn't know I voted.
But Diana, before we go, we must shake body now. We must shake body small, like big ladies.
Dr. Ify,
I trust you.
Dr. Ify,
Let's shake body a bit, because let's shake off all the demons.
Dr. Ify,
Eh?
thank
Yeah,
you very much. I'm talking. I have to leave because I'm going somewhere. Thank you very much for your contributions, all ladies present in this.
I also learned from your own contribution.
I share the same perception with you, please.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you all. Bye.
Thank you.
Okay,
Please,
bye.
we must dance. So because let's just listen to this music, and then before we, please.
Okay.
Who is dancing with me?
I am dancing, but I'm not showing myself.
She's
because
dancing
I'm wearing my nightgown. So.
And please let me thank Diana, who agreed to moderate this. Diana, you're a fantastic moderator.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. You're going to do more of it for us. Thank you so much. So, ladies, wag passion. No, sorry. Wag love. Wag passion. Wag impact.
Impact.
I change.
Society will change.
Love you all, Lord.
Amen.
Good night.
Bye.
Love you too, ma. Thank you.
Bye. I'm going to share the video shortly.
Good night.
I'm going to share the video shortly, okay?
All right. Thank you.
Bye.